Okay, so you want to practice your latte art skills, but you don't want to waste too much coffee. A little tip, a little trick is to buy grounded coffee from the supermarket, like the cheapest one you can find. This one was €4, I guess, maybe 5. Just put it in your latte cup or cappuccino or whatever you want to do. Add some water to it. Give it a swirl, just so it dissolves a little bit. And now you can pretend this is your espresso shot. Grab your biggest pitcher, steam it like you would normally do. Try to add a little bit more texture to it, because we're gonna reuse it, reheat it again, and pour like another 5 times it. So I have everything ready here. I have 5 latte cups. I have my steamed milk. I'll keep just enough to pour my first design. Give it a little bit of a wiggle, and let's try to make I don't know, let's do a nice little tulip. So because it doesn't have any crema like an espresso would, it's not putting any force when you're trying to do your design, so it's a little bit tricky, but after a few tries you will see that it's very, very easy to get used to it. And you have just enough of a contrast so you can see your design. This is a very, very useful and one of the cheapest ways you can practice your latte art. I have just enough to do another one here. Let's add a little bit more water to this one. Let's see if we can make a rosetta this time. Not my best work, but it's fine. It serves its purpose. You can clearly see the design, and it's very good to practice. Now what you do is you put the milk back, add some more milk, and steam it again. And then you can use it a couple of more times. It won't have the same contrast because it's now kind of a grayish brown color. You can really see it on the camera, but it's slightly darker than milk. The more you steam the milk, the more it loses its properties, and it's gonna be harder to pour your designs with it. But I think for like 4 or 5 times it's pretty decent. Oop. Let's see if I can get another one out of it without steaming it again. There we go. So another good way of using your very, very cheap coffee is to extract it just like you would extract specialty coffee. Like, try to get an espresso out of it. It won't be good, that's for sure. So just use slightly more than you would normally use for a normal espresso shot, maybe like, I don't know, 19 something, 20 grams. I'm using a scale here, but don't really need it. Just tamp my bad coffee and try to get 2 espressos out of it. Just a little warning, it will probably have no crema at all, so it extracted in 8 seconds. That's not good. But you do have 2 espressos without crema. Now, this will be even better to practice your latte art. Let's see what we get. It's definitely nicer than just using the plain coffee. Yeah, not bad. Good. You can also reuse this milk. Just put it back into your pitcher. Put a little bit more like fresh milk and steam it again. I am going to pull out another 2 espressos from the coffee, and we'll do it again. By the way, if you can see in this light, if you see this small dent in your coffee puck when you're making coffee, I see this a lot with new baristas, and don't do that. That means you're like putting way too much coffee in your portafilter. I'm purposely trying to make it more bubbly, so it would have just that little bit more texture when we pour it, because this espresso doesn't have any body to it. It's like just brown water. I love pouring tulips. So if you're struggling to properly foam your milk, a good rule to keep in mind when steaming your milk is you have your milk ready, like you fill your pitcher just like, if you can see it, where this end starts, where it ends, like this spout mouth ends, just right here. You put your steam wand just perpendicularly on your body, put the steam, the pitcher inside, and just try to imagine there's a kind of a smiley face looking at you, and this is the mouth, these are the 2 eyes. So just imagine you're poking that smiley's face left or right eye. Turn on your steamer like to the max from the beginning, so you can see that beautiful vortex forming there. And that's it. That's how you get perfectly steamed milk every time. My steam wand is perfectly straight. Put it in the middle of the pitcher, just tilt it slightly to the left or to the right, depending on, I don't know, your preference. And get up that steam. And that's it. Now, just for reference, I'm gonna show you. I have here like a nice espresso. Just pull this shot. It's in El Salvador. It's a natural processed coffee, and this is our substitute espresso made with the cheap coffee. Let's pour some latte art into them and see. You can really see the difference between them. So this is our bad coffee right here. It's not actually bad at all. You can definitely see what I'm doing. And now for the good one. Now you'll definitely see the impact the crema has on the latte art. It just gives you that little push, like you can feel it when you almost feel it when you pour, and gives you that contrast between the design and the outer layers of the coffee. Just to compare them side by side, you can definitely tell which is which, but for practice you can't really beat €3 coffee. I mean, milk is milk, depending on where you live. It's pretty expensive either way. So now, when it actually comes to pouring latte art, and just keep a couple of things in mind. First of all, I try to, because I work in a very, very crowded place, I tend to stick with easier designs, like a simple tulip, a couple of hearts, stuff like that. But I think it's good to know beforehand, before you start putting what you want to do. Like, I would sometimes just freehand it and make silly stuff and see what I get. But, I mean, depends on the place you're working and the volume and the speed you have to produce that coffee. I have like a couple of seconds, less than a minute to make probably 2 coffees most of the time. Tulip is a classic. It always looks good. One of my favorite designs to pour. Believe it or not, I think pouring a Rosetta in one go is actually the fastest design I can do, and it's most often the one I use when I'm under pressure. Feels like such a waste, but it's almost 10 p.m. Don't really want to be drinking coffee right now. Future, or if you want to see more like daily vlogs of me actually working, or if you'd like to go even more in depth into latte art and making coffee in general. Thanks a lot for watching. Please hit that like button, subscribe. Cinnamon. Cinnamon. Cinnamon.
Oh my god, cinnamon.